Welcome back to GuitarAnimal.com. This is Trent again. I'm going to show you today how I get some different sounds out on my guitar, and you can use these techniques as well. There's more involved than just having the controls on 10 and the switch in one position and one sound on your amplifier. So I'm going to kind of go through some of these things with you, and you can check it out for yourself. First thing I want to talk about is the volume control on the guitar. Even on the clean sound, if I'm on the, let's talk about, well, I guess what the volume control is on this particular guitar. This is the volume control. This is the tone control. We'll talk about what they do. This is a pickup switch here. This one has a 3-position switch. These are pickups. That's what actually senses the sound of the strings. In the back position here, we call this the back position when it's down. It's this pickup here next to the bridge. This is your bridge. And that gives us certain sounds. We go up to the other positions, your neck pickup here next to the neck. This is called the neck. And it gives you different sounds. So we're going to go back and forth with these and see what we can get out of this guitar. This particular guitar is a lot like an old Les Paul Special. It's a glued-in neck. It means this part of the neck is actually glued into the body, one piece now. It's mahogany, so it sounds a certain way. Mahogany neck. The brown wood here, rosewood fingerboard. So that all comes together to kind of give you a recipe of a warm sounding guitar. What we're going to do with it is we're going to experiment with these controls. I have my amp set to clean, so just a basic clean sound. That means it's not very distorted at all. If I hit it really hard, you might get a little distortion, but not a lot. In the back position here, this pickup is a lot hotter. That means it has more output. So when I do play, you can hear it wanting to distort even that clean sound. Now if I play lighter or softer, even without changing control, it's going to clean up. And that's because my amp has a tube in it, and tubes are an old-fashioned way of making amplifiers, but they're very sensitive to what I give it. So if I hit the strings harder, it does one thing. If I hit them softer, it does something else. A lot of the newer solid-state amps do the same thing. They try to emulate that. So you hit it softly, I get a nice soft sound. If I hit it harder, it wants to distort. So that's one thing we can do without even changing any of the controls on the guitar. The first thing you can do, the control that I would mess with the first would be the volume control. If I turn it down, obviously it gets softer, but it's also going to want to stay cleaner, less distortion. Even if I hit it harder, it's not going to want to distort because it's giving less voltage to the amplifier. So we turn the guitar volume down, it gets cleaner and softer. Turn it up. So work with your volume control. Instead of always having it on 10, drop it back to 8, drop it back to 6. I can hit it very hard. Still wants to stay nice and clean. So I can play more aggressively and still have a clean sound without changing anything else but the volume on the guitar. Tone control on your guitar, that rolls off some high end. What that means is as I turn it down, I have less brightness and more bass. This is without the tone control. Down it also on 10. If I turn it down to 0, very bassy, all right? A totally different sound. Very tony, hence the tone control. In the mid-range section, about on 4. Now this is also very effective if we have an overdriven sound. So let me get an overdrive on the amplifier with the tone control on 10. Very bright and edgy. Turn the tone control to 0. Much more bassy. If you put it somewhere in the middle, say we're around 5 or 6, you get some of the brightness back, but not as bright as if you left it on 10. I usually like to keep my tone control about 5 or 6 on a guitar like this just to warm it up a bit. It's got a very mid-range tone to it. So experiment a little bit with your tone control. There's no wrong setting. If you don't like it in one position, try it in another position. You might like it better. All the examples that I just showed you were using just the bridge pickup. So I got all of those sounds out of the bridge pickup, either on an overdrive setting on my amplifier or on a clean setting. I'm not using any foot pedals for this particular video, so it's just all the guitar. Now if I go to my neck pickup on the overdriven sound, everything on 10 sounds like this. Very hollow toned. You can turn the volume down, even on an overdriven sound. And again, it cleans it up. Turn your volume down, cleaner. I'm still on an overdriven sound, but it's very clean. Turn the volume down some more. Nice and chimey. Turn that back up to 10. We can engage our tone control. This was on 10. If I turn that down to 0, even bassier and more hollow sounding. These are with the neck pickup. Now if I go to a clean sound on the amplifier, tone control on 10, neck pickup. If I turn the tone control down to 0, very bassy sounding. But again, a very usable tone. In addition to that, on this particular guitar, there's a third setting on the pickup switch. It's in the middle. It would be both pickups. And it kind of gives you a combination of the sound of both of those. So let's listen to both of them on with a clean sound. Turn the tone control down to 0. Very muted. Almost a wah-wah sound. It's just the combination of these two pickups sound that way. That was both pickups on, tone control on 0, volume control on 10. Now of course both pickups with the overdrive setting will give us different sounds yet. This is overdrive, both pickups on, everything on the guitar on 10. Turn that tone control down to 0. More hollow sounding. A little bit of rhythm. That's tone control on 0, both pickups on an overdriven signal. And it's a very cool sound. You can get lots and lots of, when you're recording, you want to have lots of different sound textures in your recording. And so experiment with the different sounds on your guitar by using the tone control, the volume control, what pickup I'm using, as well as what sound is on the amplifier. The last thing you would want to do is record 3 or 4 tracks on your album with exactly the same guitar and exactly the same tone settings, because they're all just going to be right on top of each other, and it's going to be very thin sounding recording. This is Trent with GuitarAnimal.com. I hope that you enjoyed what we covered today. Remember, the tone control, it's your new best friend. Volume control, mess with it. Change the settings, and don't be afraid of the switch. Have fun, keep jamming.